broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes! When you hear that music, you can only mean one thing. It is Sunday evening, and it is the GH report on AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah, Frank.
Sorry.
What's up?
I'm just thinking of all that boiling crab. Yeah?
It's so good, guys.
Hey, everybody, it is Sunday night. We're going to be recapping the GH report. I am one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. James Lott Jr., sadly, away right now. He's, he's just dealing with the ramifications of Helena's will. Has some things. Yeah, he was really broken up by all that. But the rest of us here to make sure we can break down all the latest happenings here in Port Charles. To my immediate left, we have the lady. As James Lott said, he was always like changing that hair. He's really sad that he couldn't see what Ladine Harvey's hair was going to look like. Ladies and gentlemen, Ladine Harvey.
Oh my gosh. Hey guys, you can find me on Twitter at Ladine_Harvey. I was looking at another camera. What's up with us today?
There you go.
None of us are here today, but I mean, I guess if you can spell my name right, and let me see if I can do it. I'm, of course, Lacretia Lyon, and it's LACRETILYON, I think.
Ding, ding,
and
ding.
you can maybe find me anywhere on the internet if I spelled it right.
Now, Lucretia's been in the chat room, so folks, follow us on Facebook, like us on iTunes, hop in the chat. Let us know what you thought about what was good, what was bad, what was super cool, what was driving you crazy about this week in Port Charles. And Lucretia will make sure we hear your thoughts as we're doing this episode. Now, I'm sure, though, as many of you probably want to watch or listen to the GH report while you're relaxing in bed. That's a great way to watch us and enjoy the show. We highly recommend relaxing in bed there. Now, folks, if you want to have the best night's sleep, though, you want to make sure you get a Casper. Now, folks, changing an industry isn't easy, but we're seeing it more and more. Now, just think, thanks to new apps and startups, we're not just using taxis and hotels as much. And with Casper, the way we buy mattresses is changing too. Now, I love how these guys have turned a commission-driven mattress showroom on its head. And it's not just me that loves Casper, it's the most awarded mattress of the decade. It's named one of the best inventions of 2015 by none other than Time magazine. Pretty sweet deal there, huh? Now, Casper is a single perfect mattress for all sleepers. It's engineered for supportive comfort that guarantees a great night's sleep, just like their new sheets and pillow. Their unique pillow-in-pillow design is the perfect ratio of squish to support. You know how important that is, that squish to support ratio. Absolutely. Now, Casper ships its mattress for free in a surprisingly compact box, so you can try it in your own home for 100 nights, risk-free. If you don't love it, they'll pick it up and refund you everything. Now, for a guaranteed great night's sleep, choose the leader in mattress revolution, Casper. Try it for 100 nights in your own home with free shipping and returns. Go to Casper.com and use the code AfterBuzzTV for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. That's Casper.com, code AfterBuzzTV for $50 towards the purchase of your mattress. Casper.com, terms and conditions do apply.
What about Dante and Lulu? Definitely need to take advantage of this promotion. I am just like, that's all I can think about is they have definitely been in the market for a new mattress, so why not cross promote?
Absolutely, look at that. Dante, I think we really need to call Casper. Okay, all right, let's do that. So we had I don't know, overall, what do you think about this week in Port Charles? Highs, lows, did you enjoy it? Was it kind of like,
Since I really like Nina, I thought it was a good week. But yeah, it was good to find out about Dr. Monroe as well. But yeah, it was more the side characters week.
It wasn't like so much of like the same.
Yeah.
Ladine's just thinking about that boiling crab.
Can you stop?
Now, what? Boiling crab? A delicious boiling crab, everybody.
I thought this week was okay.
Yeah.
We had a lot of exciting, good moments, but it wasn't like juicy, but it was still very interesting.
No, I thought it started and ended the week with some fun little turns and stuff, and I guess we kicked it off
Wednesday.
here. Yeah, already kind of got a little slow, but I guess we'll start it off here at the beginning of the week, which is probably my favorite stuff. Was Helena throwing shade from beyond the grave?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she was tossing
loved
lip
that.
arounds.
Wait. Did you say beyond the grave?
Yeah.
Come on, we all
Beyond the
know
grave.
she's not dead. Okay. My favorite of all time was that Penny.
Oh,
I was like, she tried it.
That was such a good burn. I was laughing. I love Sam as well as her sisters, but I was just like, that was such a great burn, Helena.
Not a penny for one person.
penny for all three.
Because that's all
Yes.
you three are worth.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And I knew that she was going to give Alexis that knife, but to put the playbill on top of it, I was like, ooh, burn on top of burn. Second degree burn.
Wow.
And it was just basically that whole thing was like people would get a gift, she'd throw some shade on them, and then they're like, that's it, I'm out. And then Scotty's like, well, hold on. You want to make sure you hear everything, right? Then they have to sit there and listen to more of the insults.
That's one thing that I wish didn't take place this week. I felt like it was just kind of purposeless. I just felt the reading of the will was stupid.
And technically it was supposed to be last week's Friday, but, you know, it was preempted, so then they had to do it on Monday. So that may have been part of the reason it didn't seem to fit. Because, yeah, it's almost like, oh, and this week we didn't get our Friday. So I think that's why some of it was anticlimactic.
Yeah, I felt like it was something that helped just kick off a bunch of storylines for several characters. One of them being Liz, who gets a little storybook from Jake's time on Cassadine Island.
I really hope that this prompts a good story for Elizabeth.
Right.
That's what, when I saw it, I was like, ooh, that's really dark and creepy. But it's really like, with Liz and Franco maybe going through this and figuring it out, I would like to see that story.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm taking from that like Jake saw something there on Cassadine Island that Helena said, like, shh, don't ever tell anybody. So Jake saw something that he's keeping close to his chest. Maybe that's what made him really kind of creepy for a little while.
That's interesting.
I'm going to miss creepy little Jake. I hope this other kid that they've hired is going to be creepy too. Because you got to have a creepy kid.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so Liz gets that. Then Lulu gets an envelope because she did like some of the greatest service there to the Cassadine family, but it's an empty envelope. So who knows exactly what that meant? I mean, I'm sure it has something to do with her embryo.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that maybe, you know, just throwing this out, because I know this has been a lot of fan theory on the internet as well, is a lot of people are speculating that it's actually the embryo was used to create a child with Stavros, since, you know, when we got Emmy Ryland, they had that, you know, Ice Princess storyline reboot with Stavros being obsessed with Lulu. So I could see Helena having that child out there, especially because of all the hints at her when she's lonely, this or that, something's out there for her. I'm like, I don't think it's an embryo. I think it's a full-on baby.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like the only thing that's disappointing about that is that at least when they brought Nicholas in, it had been enough time that you were able to have him be a teenager, so that he was able to actually actively participate in storylines and have some sort of impact on his own. But like a child would be like, all right, how much is a child going to be able to do on his own?
Yeah, exactly. And we already have evil little Jake, so to have it be an evil kid to get between Dante and Lulu yet again, like, that'd be a little, you know, too soon.
I guess that could be used as a prediction.
Oh,
yes,
that's very true. And then we have Laura. She gets a little key from Helena to find what you've lost. Yeah,
that was a little weird too.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, because I'm like, okay, if Anthony Geary was coming back, we all know that it'd be like a Luke and Laura love story revival, but there's no plans for that in the future. So. Or Lucky. Like, that was my first thought, was actually Lucky.
The things that I just couldn't piece together what exactly it could be for Laura to have that key.
Yeah, but at least it feels like she's having her own sort of storyline, which is cool. So it's nice to have her, instead of just always being kind of a satellite character in Dante and Lulu's or Nicholas and Hayden's story.
Did he just say a satellite character?
Yes. A satellite character, yeah.
She just roams around.
Yeah, that's what she does. She just roams around. She enjoys some snack food out of the vending machines, and then, you know, she throws insults about comparing...
and then that's it.
That's right.
Yeah, and while I love Laura's, you know, Mama Burns, those are excellent, I do want to see her with a story. And that's why I was like, this Will reading at least prompted a lot of stories for people that we've been hoping to get something. Like Lulu, Liz, Laura. All of them are kind of getting something new with this Will reading. That's what I saw it as, and that's why I liked it. But yeah, and Liz actually had the best line at the will reading, just saying, "All right, well, you guys grab your forks and pitchforks, what did she say? Flamethrowers and pitchforks, I believe. I'm just gonna get out of here."
Yeah, well, it's kind of like, not so fast, Liz. Like, you're in this too.
Yeah, Scotty was just the one to ruin everyone's day, but at least we got to see Scotty.
Yeah, so it's because the way that Helena was delivering her lines to Laura about like, she was so emphatic, like, Laura, this will help you find what you lost. Like, I can't imagine anything that Helena's. She's not doing anything altruistic for Laura at all. So, I mean, I don't know why she was feeling.
For anyone.
Yeah, for anybody. So, I can't imagine this could be anything good for Laura, but I'll be curious to see what it starts off.
Yeah, I mean, even her grandson, Nicholas. I mean, and I did love that they alluded to that he poisoned her, actually.
Yes.
That was juicy.
The thing is that how does she know that?
Yeah, well.
The video was too present.
I feel like she's still got to be alive, right? Yeah, we all agree with that. There's no way that you have Helena knocked off in that fashion. But yeah, so Nicholas gets a painting. First, that Helena says a disappointment. So you're not getting any of my money. It's being donated off. Sorry about that. And then I'm also going to give you this painting. Or I'm holding a cup of tea in there. So right there, as soon as you saw her holding a cup of tea, you're like, all right, hold on.
We already knew.
And then if we weren't that sure, we also get a little flashback to that time when Helena's drinking that tea in front of Nicholas. So you feel like, all right, I think we get the idea. And the way that Nicholas is acting about it, like, okay, let's just change the subject. Okay, all right.
Well, to me, even if he did poison his grandmother, literally no one in that room would have blamed him.
No.
They would probably have thrown him a party. Like, especially his aunt Alexis. Like, she was ding-donging the witch is dead when Helena died.
All right, so Lacretia, any of our fans who are in the chat room have any suspicions about what this mystery for Laura could be?
Well, our Melvin fan has a good, hopeful prediction. She said Scotty teams up with Laura to help her with the key and they get back together. I would actually not mind seeing that as long as they get a real romance. I mean, if we're not going to have Luke, we either need somebody new or to actually utilize Scotty Baldwin.
No, because it was nice because there were so many times where Scotty was almost just like being rejected constantly by Laura. And then this last time they actually finally got together, and just because I think of just personal circumstances with Jeannie Francis that she couldn't be on the shows for a certain point of time, so they wrote her off, and then they so abruptly ended that relationship.
Yeah.
I feel like it was so truncated. You never had a chance to really see them together.
Yeah, and I think that's something that longtime fans certainly want to see because, I mean, people that watched the show from the beginning, Laura and Scotty were the it couple before it was Luke and Laura.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see them. So, so now we've got some storylines set in motion there with thanks to good old Helena Cassadine. But a little bit closer to home, we've got some other storylines being kind of revealed there. I guess we're starting it off with we'll deal with the Davises / Corinthoses here.
Yeah.
So for this one, actually, Christina needs to lay down after telling some half-truths. She was just so exhausted from that. I need to lay down.
She was awesome in that scene.
Yeah, I loved Christina in this. I have to say, she really is Sonny and Alexis's daughter because she has... like Morgan has the worst qualities of Carly and Sonny. I think Christina has her parents as well. But it's entertaining to watch. Yeah.
But like Sonny just barging in, that's it. Enough. You guys, something's going on. You're going to tell us what this deal
is.
The
only thing I don't like is that he's kind of barging into her personal life, sending, people to find out information. That's the only thing that I was kind of like, okay, Sonny, you're doing a bit much.
Yeah, he was definitely crossing the line with Christina to pay to have Max go and investigate. Yes. And then he was basically bullying her. I mean, she's there crying. It's like, Sonny, you were literally the worst parent ever.
Okay, see, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I can understand. It's because Sonny's thing was we paid for your schooling, and so Christina was like, oh, well, so you mean that this money has strings attached?
Yeah.
And I agree sort of to an extent with Sonny. It's like, you don't have strings attached, but you're also being deceptive with us as well. So, I don't know. I mean, I could see where Sonny's coming from. He does it in his little overhanded way, but... I mean, I think Christina was never going to say anything. She would have just skated by and never told them a word about anything if Sonny hadn't at least forced a little bit of the issue.
Well, and I think that's the thing is even Molly pointed out, why were you worried about what Mom would think? I mean, even Uncle Sonny's going to love you anyway. But yeah, to me, I get her not telling Sonny, especially after his reaction. Because, yeah, he's really not good at, seeing people's sides of things. And that's one of his, faults. But with Christina and Alexis, that's what always surprised me. Is why didn't she at least start to talk to her? Because Alexis is actually very progressive, non-judgmental. And that was the only thing. It's okay, I get not telling Sonny, obviously, but Alexis, come on.
Sometimes even though you could be really close to your mom, there's still some things that you probably don't want to go to her about, even if you know she may be able to help you. There's still that little boundary within.
I guess, but I mean, what was she expecting to happen? Because she was just lying. She was not going back to school. At some point, that was going to come up. I mean, at least if you can't reach out to your mom for help in that kind of situation, I don't know. I mean, it's tough because her whole being expelled from school is so intertied with her sexual identity right now. So it makes it tough to talk probably about either issue without having to talk about everything.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is like certainly when she told, you know, the half truth that it was, you know, she went after this professor, like Alexis is starting to see why she didn't come forward. She's embarrassed and all this. But yeah, like Sonny never let up, and you know, it was good to at least Christina saw and then talk to Molly after that maybe talking to Alexis is okay. She's
I mean, I could see why Sonny didn't. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still a father. So, you know, dads kind of go overboard when it comes, and the fact that he doesn't know the entire truth, he's thinking that there's this man that's trying to ruin my daughter. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could see why he could be so claws on her after finding out she wasn't.
Yeah, and for when he was said like I want you to do better than me. I was not a great kid growing up. I wasted a lot of opportunities. Didn't have a lot of opportunities, and I want to make sure you take advantage of everything we can give you. So I think I could see why he just was disappointed in the sense that, you know, she was making the same mistakes that I feel like Sonny and Alexis may have made in their youth. But I don't know. So but Sonny they kind of pushed Sonny out, like, get out. All right, you've said enough. Stop barreling around. And then I'd like Christina said, I'm just going to go lay down. This was so exhausting. I'm going to go lay down.
After all that, she had a little mini breakdown. I would want to lay down too.
I don't know. All right, I guess so. So we have that. And the reason that Alexis can't continue to have that conversation with him is that she gets called away because
Brisky.
Yes, Brisky. or as I like to call is just Mayor Lomax kicking ass.
Oh.
So they go to the courtroom there, and so certainly court isn't in session yet, so they're having a little the discussion. We do find out that Mayor Lomax is being represented by good old Diane. Carolyn Hennessy coming back in as Diane, representing Mayor Lomax.
It's awesome to have Diane back, but I'm ready for this story to be over with.
Yeah.
I think it's not that important, to be honest. It's a great topic, but I think they're drawing this out just a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. I like that Olivia and Alexis and Diane now are all involved in this because I love them and they're really funny ladies. And this is opening up for a lot of jokes. But yeah, I feel like they're dragging it out a little too much. It's like, all right, let's get it wrapped up. Like, are we going to get id of Mayor Lomax? Or, you know, is Alicia going to become mayor?
Go.
I know.
I feel like, and Mayor, certainly Sherry Belafonte, great actress, but man, like Mayor Lomax is just like so over the top, cartoony villainy.
I know, that's why it's so annoying.
Yeah, where it's like, I can't believe you're saying all this stuff to Olivia right there in a court, and Diane is just standing there just like, yeah, I'm still representing her.
It's like it wasn't coming from like an honest moment. It's like everything was almost kind of jokey.
Yeah, just bullying them, just like over the top cartoony bullying. Like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's my thing is with this character is like there's nowhere to go from here. It's just a one-note villain just for the storyline. So it's like, okay, let's just end it and
I feel like they're not even going to go through with it.
I don't know. Just the part that really lost me is when they record the conversation where they get to the Mayor Lomax kind of just threatening Olivia, and then they get into a fight about getting the phone, and then the phone like slides across the floor, and Diane erases the whole voice memo. I'm like, oh, that was just like, yeah, Mayor Lomax is like boxing out both Alexis and Olivia while that's happening. I'm like, what? Come on, 2-on-1, you've got to be able to get around it. But no, Sherry Belafonte is just like, yeah, defense, yeah, got you. So, no way. So at the end, I guess what ended up kind of dissolving the tension right there is that the Davis girls come in and start seeing some of the stuff. Like, there's a lot of women outside, in support of you. So chill out, everybody. So I don't know. I agree. The storyline could go fast forward pretty quickly, guys.
I was trying to find all the insane fun things that Diane said. The one I really remember was. I'm okay with anyone whipping anything out at any time, but, this is my job. Like, that was one of them. I was like, and there was another one, chat rolls. if you can find the other awesome Diane line, we'll read it out loud.
Yeah, but there was also the way Diane made the distinction between her and Alexis in terms of as Meryl Lomax is saying, all right, if you keep pursuing this, we'll let everybody know that you're married to a mobster. And Alexis say, like, well, Diane, you're dating a mobster. Like, oh, we're just dating. We're not. We're happy,
like,
but we're happy.
Yeah.
I like Diane's distinction. We're happy though, so it's fine, and we're not married, so it's okay.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and at the end of that, Carly comes sliding in and says, hey, you got to drop this lawsuit. Only because, for some reason, they started like getting kind of harassed at the hotel where they had to close down business right there, like the health and service.
That's why I say this. It's not gonna go anywhere.
Like that was so ridiculous. Like that play. Like what? Why were you doing that?
Yeah, the health inspector paid off by the mayor to shut down the Metro Court, really, and then it's just like, okay. And to have Carly come in and say that, it's just like, really, Carly? How many dumb things do you champion? I mean, it's like, and you're telling Olivia to drop the one time she does something stupid, or, you know.
And
it's like, wow.
Yeah, because it was interesting from when it gets shut down, and we had the people from Crimson come down, Nina and Maxie and all them, and they started talking about Meryl Lomax. Oh, we seem to have a common enemy, Meryl Lomax. And Carly's like, yeah, and then it cuts to the courthouse, and she's like, you got to drop this lawsuit. I'm like, well, what happened to this whole common enemy of Meryl Lomax? No? All right. So I don't know if they're going to, I can't imagine they're going to have Carly still be on that side of it. I'm sure once the people explain the case a little bit more, I'm sure Carly will swing around.
Kendra John just pretty much said the same thing. She said they got Carly in this god-awful storyline.
They roped her in. That's right. But then, of course, if we're talking about Carly, then we got to talk about her son Morgan, who I feel like this week Morgan is the Kiki whisperer.
I thought that was so adorable.
Oh man,
You're not having it?
I'm not. I haven't had this in the beginning. Like we've talked too many times on the show about how we want Kiki to be away from the Corinthos boys and having her own storyline because it just
sometimes you can't help love.
Oh man.
But to me, it's like, okay, that scene. The only thing I liked about it is it made Ava look good again. Like, because to me, she was putting her on her own selfish things. But I'm like, okay, seriously, as soon as Kiki, really wakes up, just drop Morgan. Sorry. Like, they can be like Carly and Jason friends, but for the love of God, honey, jump on something not named Corinthos.
Yeah.
No.
No, and Morgan's not going to walk away. No, he's not going to. He's not going to be like, all right, I'm better out of her life. No, he's going to be still sucked into her. But I would love to think that Kiki was like saying Morgan, and waking up so Morgan can come to her so she can officially break up with him. That's what I want.
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys tonight.
What?
I a lot of people may not like, but I actually like Morgan and Kiki together.
Oh,
I do.
Really?
Morgan's, they both have their own little issues, but it seems that they're kind of trying to help each other. I don't
Morgan's
know.
Morgan's a hot mess.
They kind of soothe each other. They soothe each other, which is what I like.
No, I would disagree. Only because then Morgan, instead of being soothed by Kiki, like all of a sudden started party on with whatever her name was, the lady there in the warehouse.
Darby.
It was
Darby, yes.
to benefit.
Oh, you believe that line of crap?
Kiki.
Oh, okay, Ladine.
It was to benefit her.
If a man was in that same situation that you were involved with, and
no.
Would you buy that excuse? No way. You would not.
But this is not real life. That's the thing. This is not real life.
Okay.
So, yeah, I actually would like to see Morgan and Kiki together.
It's just like
I would.
I feel so sad about Kiki that she's never really got it. We never really know her as a character unto herself. It's always in relation to a Corinthos guy. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and Kendra John mentioned this, and I know that other people have said the same thing, might be trying Kiki with Dylan. I'm really liking Haley Aaron. If it was like Kirsten Alderson, I would say no, because she looks too young for him. But with Haley Aaron, she does look older, and if they're not going to go with Dylan and Maxie, maybe Dylan and Kiki. That would get Kiki out of the Corinthos org.
Yes.
I don't know, for some reason, because Kiki's with Morgan, I kind of see her too young for Dylan. Is it just me? I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I say the other actress would have looked too young,
Yes.
but this one does look a little bit more mature, so that's why I was like, Haley Aaron with Robert Palmer Watkins might actually look all right.
Yeah, and I thought there might have been a chance for that when Kiki and Maxie were talking at the Metro Court, and I thought Maxie was going to kind of take Kiki under her wing, maybe get her a job at Crimson, like as an intern or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I hope for.
Yeah, and then I thought that would be a chance then for Dylan and Kiki to start interacting. That would be a good opportunity for that. Just the job itself, even if it wasn't a Dylan romance, but just a job so she has something, so she's interacting with other people on a regular basis.
Yeah, because the job at the Metro Court, she really only interacts with Carly, and then her family comes in, or Morgan comes in, and that's the problem is that needs to be, it's great that she has a job, but let's separate her from them. Because it's just awkward that Carly and Kiki are, like, friendly as they are. I mean, with her opinion on her mother, her relationship with Morgan, it is just weird.
It is. And just give her somebody else to talk to for once. It would be very nice. But speaking of, we were talking about Crimson a little bit. Crimson having some Crimson woes this week.
Oh.
Boy, guys, again.
Julian.
Yeah. No. The fact that, all right, my favorite scene was where they realize that the print run is ruined again. Everything's in there. It's separated by pages in each different box. Like, oh my gosh, it's been foiled again. What are we gonna do, Julian? We're gonna call the printer. Find out what I've got a long relationship with this printer. Let me call. And then they just stand there and watch him as he's obviously fake talking on the phone to this guy, having a pretend conversation. Like, come on, guys, you're falling for this?
Yeah, well, Nina has been in a coma for 20 years, so I give her a little bit of credit, but Maxie and Dylan should be seeing this.
Because they do have the conversation, who benefits from Crimson going under? And, I mean, Nina for a second said, like, oh, Julian. I'm like, yes. And then she backpedaled on it. I'm like, come on, you were right there, Nina.
I mean, you wouldn't expect it. So, I mean, the person that's making money off of the company...
Yeah, but you get to think like selling off like assets. I would think like that. That's a perfect reason for wanting to get rid of a company.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't really figured that out, but it looks like they will next week. According to some of the previews that I've seen.
I don't know if it'll happen. You think it'll happen that fast?
I hope so, just because it's okay. We got the green issue now. The contest, and I did like the little contest thing because it gave Valerie and Curtis something to do. That was a fun scene. But yeah, and then it really imported Maxie and Dylan and Nina all working together, and it's nice to have working storylines as opposed to doing it all the time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, would this be, all right, say you were living in the universe of General Hospital there, and all of a sudden you see on your Twitter or something like that, social media, that Crimson for this latest issue, it's like a do-it-yourself issue. If you assemble it correctly, you can win $1,000. Would you be that jazzed that you'd be running all around the city trying to get this and assemble it?
Definitely do what Curtis and Valerie did.
Really?
I would grab someone, a partner, and we'll go do it together. I thought that was the most romantic idea.
Depends on the city. Now, my hometown, where it took like 30 minutes to get anywhere, maybe. But here in L.A., hell no. Nothing's worth $1,000 driving around here.
No, just, man, I don't know. I guess I figure, like, what else could they do to salvage that situation? And it seemed like it'd be a good way to make apples out of lemonade. Sure, that's the new thing, guys. You try making apples out of lemonade. That's a good stuff. Yeah. So speaking of that, as we're talking there, Curtis and Valerie. So we start off Curtis getting his act together. Basically getting his act together. Reached out to Hayden earlier in the week and says, "Hey, would you mind co-signing?"
What was that?
Yeah, it'd be my co-sign.
I really thought he had some important information for her. I was like, what's going to happen with them? But I would have never thought it would have been, co-sign for me.
What I did like about this is at least it gave Curtis like a little status update, just doing some normal people stuff, getting us invested more than just like, hey, this is somebody from Jordan's past. It just gave us a little something like, all right, this is his life, which I was fine with that. Like, give us a little bit of Curtis other than just being like guy in the pool hall, playing pool or storming into Jordan's office, like, stop talking to me, stop talking about me.
Yeah, that's why I liked when they had the discussion about their mothers. Like, that really finally gave Curtis something, and then gave them a little bit of a bond that now you can sort of see. Because at first it's like, this was just a fun thing, and now we're seeing some bonding with them.
And that's what I feel like with, when you have common interests with someone, you start actually slowly gravitating towards them. I feel like that whole mother thing that they shared kind of made them be just a little bit closer to one another.
And that's what she shared with Dante too. So I see that that's something that's important to her.
Although I felt like a lot of time was wasted with a lot of talking, especially if you're in a contest for $1,000. They did take a lot of time to sit around and chat for a little bit. No, you got $1,000 on the line. You can't be wasting time sitting in a lobby talking.
Yeah,
you got to be out there running.
After you get that money, you can sit down and have a great dinner and talk talk all you want.
That's right. See,
exactly.
So enough of the
let's
talking.
go get this money.
Yes. Then you can sit there.
And then we can talk.
Yes. There you go. They spent so much time talking though that I was surprised they actually won that thing. I was like, come on, no way. You can't be the first people to come back in this. But I do like, they lost a shoe during the course. They're walking in like, all limp.
Yeah, they apparently had to fight some people and do some crazy stuff for those pages. That's what it appeared to be. But
exciting.
Now, seeing that, do you root more for Curtis Valerie connection, or do you still like, no, it's Hayden? It's
I
gotta be
started to, just a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit. But I'm still unsure about
I still prefer Hayden because she signed the dude's lease. Like, co-signing a lease is much bigger than a $1,000 contract. But I do think that now it's given him and Valerie something to root for. We'll see it come up. But yeah, I like him with Hayden better now. But there's potential.
Yeah, it's, I'd like to think that there's going to be more to that scene, because why would you call Hayden in just to co-sign your lease?
Yeah.
I mean, I figure that's got to pay off some fashion, right? I don't know. It's because I figure, like, what is it? Curtis not going to be able to make that month's rent, and then all of a sudden Nicholas hears a phone call from with the landlord talking to Hayden. Hey, hold on, you co-signed for this guy.
Co-sign for this Donald.
Yeah, so at least it was nice to get a little bit of Curtis without having any of the Jordan angst, but whatever their deal is there. But if we're talking about Jordan, we'll have just a little bit of talk here about, we're talking about Dr. Andre Maddox and Anna.
Andre and Anna needs to get together now.
I love their romance. Yeah, like, to me, it's just like, I mean, even Jordan's seeing it. Just like, and I didn't like how she kind of got a little...
Trying to be shady a little bit.
I know. I was like, hold on. Because, yeah, like, yes, it was kind of sweet, but, Anna's her friend, and they're older, so I was kind of shocked at her behavior. And then, when she found out, she was like, oh, okay. But I still think that there's a little bit of mistrust there now. And I'm like, oh.
Right. I think so, and I think it has to stem with that, like, Andre knows a lot of stuff about Anna that he can't tell Jordan either.
Which is, Which is what Jordan had a problem with. Which is why I'm glad, Andre mentioned she was my, patient before I met you. Which is kind of true. So they already have a relationship. So is he supposed to just cut it off just to be with Jordan?
Yeah, but but the fact that she comes in right at that second that Maddox puts his hand right on Anna's hand, boom, like, all right, hello.
Yeah, that was so hot, though.
These little moments.
So hot.
It's like,
the subtle touches are always the best. And this is like their second time, so 3 times the charm.
Yeah, but even like I felt like Anna was like, all right, this seems kind of weird. I got to address the elephant in the room there. Yep, all right, no, I'm also his patient, so don't freak. I'm not trying to take your guy.
Right.
But still, there's such a strong connection between the two of them.
Love triangle is building up.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is Jordan sees it, but it's also, if I had seen strong feelings towards Andre with Jordan, I might be able to see her being a little bit upset. But she's pretty much played this off as casual herself and more concerned with Curtis's life, and they've had that discussion. So that's why it's like, Jordan, I love you, but just let them be together, and for the love of God, bring Rick for Jordan.
No way.
They would be a hot couple, because Rick's just such a bad boy DA.
It's crazy someone just said what you said.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, Tom London said the exact same thing as I was saying.
Yeah.
So, Anna and Andre are having a little chat because Anna reached out to Andre figuring out, like, hey, what's the deal with his doctor here, and the new doc in town? He said he's been following me around. What's the scoop? And then Anna looks at it looks him up on the internet. Finder Spider?
Yes, of course. The same thing as the X-Files.
That's right, yes. And sees his full name, and then all of a sudden has an idea of, like, who this person might be. Without telling Andre, he's like, I gotta go. I'm not gonna tell you. I don't want to spoil it in case I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But runs out and then comes over to him and says, hey, I know who you are. Right over to the hospital. I know who you are. So they go have a little talk on the dock and finds out, yep, he is Duke's son.
I'm glad that they kind of hurry up with that, because you remember we thought it was gonna go on for a little bit, so I'm glad that we instantly knew, and now we could build off that story. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, because to me there would be no reason to drag that out. So I'm really glad they didn't, because sometimes they will. But yeah, I mean, him being Duke's son just gives Anna this instant connection, and gives Dr. Monroe ties and a reason to be there, and also who doesn't want to see more of him? I'm like loving Dr. Monroe.
No, he's cool.
I was like, ooh.
It is interesting. I guess there was speculation that maybe it might be, they might have retroactively gone back, and it would be the child that Anna and Duke had lost. Maybe we would change history a little bit, kind of like they did with Erica Kane. But they didn't do that. They just made it a woman that had been involved with Duke before he went to Port Charles, was pregnant, never told Duke, and then when she went to go find him, saw that Duke was in love with Anna, didn't want to interfere with that. And so just stepped away and didn't tell Griffin until she was passing away who his real father was.
Too deep.
Yeah. So had the letter to back it up. Anna reads the letter as well. Gets really caught up in like, wow, what a terrific love story about people that just had certainly a connection, but never really followed up on it because Anna was in the picture. And I feel like Anna, at least Griffin was cool about telling Anna, like, I never resented you for any of this. I mean, well, how could you if she never really even knew that Duke was his real father? But does reach out to Anna because does want to know who, at least his father's gone, but at least to know about him from Anna.
Yeah, and I think that's probably part of the reason that he was involved with Sonny as well, since Sonny was Duke's friend. And I think we'll see more of that connection, which would actually give Sonny a good storyline. Because, he can actually talk to this guy just like Anna can about his father. And that's something we usually don't see a lot of on soaps where, we're led to believe Duke is dead. We saw him die. So at least for now, he's not coming back. We're actually just introducing a character and talking about him, So that's something I'm actually surprised that they've gone with.
Do you like the idea that he's not directly related to Anna, as opposed to he's just Duke's son entirely? And
I wish he was directly related. Remember, I think I said I thought that was probably her son or something.
Yes.
I wish it was some type of direct connection.
I'm actually okay with it, and I think it makes more sense because we all know Anna's child is Robin, and yes, we can't have Robin, but I think it is special that maybe, if we couldn't have Leora live, damn it, Prospect Park, that we have Robin be Anna's only child, and that, this Griffin, she'll want to, of course, see him as Duke's son, but have that connection, but never really replace Robin.
Yeah, because it's tough to kind of go back into a character's history and kind of retroactively add children into it, much like they did with Luke and Holly.
Yeah.
Giving them Ethan. So, I mean, because I always felt like that just seems so kind of odd as well to kind of go back and add that into their lives.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of us still hope that Ethan is Robert's kid instead. Because as much as I love his relationship with Luke, it's just like, you ruined Luke and Laura.
Yeah, because it's weird. I can understand from a writer standpoint, you want to give a character like Anna something to do, but also I don't think you want to damage the history of a character as well. So if you've never even alluded that this is a possibility with the character to add something into, it's really Anna and Duke's son, would seem so weird at this point. So as much as it would be nicer to have a more direct connection to Anna, I guess, just, paying honor to their pasts, I guess it makes more sense just to have it be Duke's with another woman. That seems so weird to say Dukes with another woman.
Dukes with another woman.
With another
woman. Like it was
woman.
scandalous,
yes.
but really it's just like, oh, that makes sense and doesn't change any history.
Yeah.
Well,
so, it seems like they do have an interesting connection, and certainly they want to keep talking it so that Griffin can find out more about his father. So that should be a little interesting to hear. And I do like what Lacretia was saying about having a chance to have more scenes with Sonny, just talking in terms about Duke and all that stuff. Because it is always cool. In some ways it seems kind of like, when Sonny does mention Duke, it's always nice to see that he has that connection. But I almost wish that we had a lot more scenes with Sonny and Duke leading up to that. I mean, I love that they have some kind of connection, and Sonny really knows. Duke was a player back in the day here in Port Charles, and that's why he always respected him, and then really liked him as a friend before he was killed off. But I always it's cool to hear Sonny talking about somebody that he really had some kind of admiration for.
Yeah, because Sonny's usually admiring himself, not Luke Spencer is really the only person other than Duke that I've seen Sonny. Well, he's a narcissist.
That's true.
You can't deny that.
He's not.
But yeah, he's always respected Luke and Duke. Isn't that funny? It rhymes.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So only people with 4 letters that rhyme with Luke or Duke.
Yeah.
Then you get Sonny's respect. But as while Griffin is dealing with a little bit of his past, he's also potentially dealing with a little bit of his future because he has a little, potential meet cute with Maxie over there in the showers at General Hospital.
I would love to see that happen.
That again, I guess Maxie got a little bit of the case of the Samitis. Can't really walk too well. Easily, those ankles, man.
As I said, did she borrow her shoes again? Because that's actually how Maxie got the job at Crimson. Is she'd borrowed Sam's shoes. I'm like, do they still do that?
No, those shoes are forever jinxed. It's going to come back and bite you sometime in your lifetime. Your ankles are going to get weak. She stumbles, and Dr. Monroe kind of nurses her back to health. Yeah. Do you think this is a potential meet cute? Can you see some? I mean, it's tough to tell from one initial meeting.
I think that they've really texted Dr. Monroe with literally every woman on the show, because you saw the meet cute with Liz, meet cute with Carly, meet cute with Maxie, and hell, even Brad was thrown in there just for fun. It's like, okay, are we just gonna throw him to everyone because he is
they don't know yet
so
what
hot,
they
right?
do, probably.
But yeah, I would like him with Maxie, just because I think her and Nathan are at a point where it's, where are we going from here? But if they're not going to go with Dylan, definitely Dr. Monroe for Maxie.
Yeah, it's just like I don't see why they wouldn't. I don't know, why wouldn't you go with Dylan? That seems like there's such great history and chemistry between the two of them. I don't know. I don't know
why they're like stalling there, but I can tell that.
I love that Amanda Pinal just said GH needs more friendships. She's missing Emily and Elizabeth. I agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like love stuff, love triangles, love, connections going on, or like frenemies going on right now that we don't see enough of anybody that's like.
Well, that's why Maxie and Nina are kind of the new one. And someone said, Alexander Hughes said they miss Sam and Maxie's friendship, as we were talking about. And I think in their lives right now, they don't really fit at this moment. But I would like to see it, brought up. But yeah, like we do have some brewing, like Anna and Jordan and Maxie and Nina.
Right. Well, Anna and Jordan, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
We can clearly see that that's probably not going to end well.
Yeah.
Now, Nina and Maxie, I could definitely see that in the making. So.
Yeah, and then you always have like the back burner friendship of Alexis and Diane. Right. That always is kind of like going on in the background. Yeah, but I don't know, if you had to choose somebody right now for Griffin Monroe to get paired up with, who would you want it to be? Based on what you've seen so far. Ooh,
I'm going to go with Maxie. I don't know about you, but...
I can do Maxie or Valerie.
Ooh, Valerie. Because he hasn't met Valerie yet, has he?
No, not yet.
No. So, I feel like it certainly seems like Valerie gets chemistry with, and much like Curtis, seems to have chemistry with everybody they put her together with. Although I guess I still, Valerie Dylan pairing, I never quite seemed like, I feel like
it never really worked. Yeah. They were better as friends.
Yeah, so I would like to see that. So I don't know. I mean, I guess it feels like this Maxie thing. It just seems so weird, like out of the blue.
Yeah, it was out of the blue, and that was my thing. But it's just Carly. No, don't. He seemed way too young for her, in my opinion, and just didn't fit. With Liz, I could see it, but honestly, I'd rather see her with Franco if he and Nina don't work out. I kind of like Liz with Franco.
Man, I guess that's a way you could see them going long term, only because Franco has such a connection with Jake, and he does have these children issues that he keeps bringing up with Nina, but doesn't seem to have that with Jake.
About children issues.
Well, it's because Jake's already a serial killer. He didn't do that, and I think that's it. It's like this kid's already messed up, so he's like, I can't mess him up anymore.
I guess
that's what he thinks.
Because it feels like otherwise, Franco can't really. He can't really have a long-term relationship with anybody. It seems like it always seems to go off the rails at some point, whether it be with Carly or whether it now be with Nina potentially going off the rails. I mean, like the third time, I think you have to do something different with the character. I think you'd have to, if you did get together with Liz, you'd have to go the distance with that. At least and get them married or something.
Yeah, something.
Whoa.
I would
you guys are moving fast right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Could you always be Franco getting involved with somebody and then inevitably it's just going to always end in ruin?
Sometimes people are meant to be alone. Sometimes.
Well, Roger Howarth always believed that about Todd Manning, who he played on One Life to Live. And the same thing with Franco is they do have a lot of the similar issues that prevents them from being a real romantic lead. But to me, his relationship with Nina was so sweet. I just kind of hope that maybe they will eventually get back together. I see them as endgame, but, she's, really made all this herself in Crimson, with her team with Maxie and Dylan there, and then she's also got that baby on the brain, and who knows, that may not work out, so then her and Franco might not have a problem here.
Yeah, I feel like until she addresses one way or the other how she feels about that child issue, I feel like her and Franco are going to be kind of at an impasse on that. But we do have at least a little bit of scene there where Franco, speaking of our boy Franco, taking a little shower right there at GH. Everybody's showering this week at GH. And then just happens to come across Liz's little storybook about Jake and Helena on Castledine Island. Takes a little read from that, and Liz just like, wow, what are you doing reading through my stuff? What's going on? Franco is kind of concerned there.
Concerned?
Yeah, concerned. I don't know exactly what he's going to do about it. Other than just kind of like keep hanging out while Liz constantly just keeps talking.
Even Franco knows he's a little crazy. He's a little cuckoo, so a book shouldn't, alter anything. It's kind of just giving a breakdown of what his life was like.
But I guess there is some secret that he's got there, and we are starting to see it, certainly with Nina being so obsessed with Crimson right now, or just focused on Crimson, that there is you can start to see a little fracture starting to happen in that relationship.
Right. Because the fact that he mentioned, if you had a child, you wouldn't stay late, or he made that little comment.
Yeah, that shade comment. Like, that was the only time Franco said something to Nina. I was just like, dude, no.
Right, don't
That's
go
it.
there. Don't go there.
Yeah.
But once it's a slippery slope. You say that, you open up the dam, right there, it's going to start going right downhill.
Yeah, that's where I see the cracks in their relationship and pushing him more with Liz and Jake. But honestly, that seems like a good storyline for both Franco and Liz. And as long as Nina does the dumping and they can get back together later, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how Nina would take that and then kind of move on, because everybody's always assumed that Nina would just kind of regress, but it'd be kind of cool to just see her kind of make that break as you kind of have the upper hand and just kind of keep going forward in that kind of confident kind of life that she's trying to lead right now.
Yeah, because to me, as Michelle Stafford was mentioning, how the shows always need an ingenue. To me, Nina is the ingenue right now. She's the rootable, kind of innocent character. And yeah, she came on as a wackadoodle, but I mean, wasn't it Epiphany that told Elizabeth, the worst thing you could be is in between those two wackadoodles? But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, but the person she is right now is such a rootable, great story. This woman really picking up her life and doing this on her own. I mean, yes, she's had Franco there, but Crimson's been on her and with the help of Maxie, and she never hesitates to give Maxie and Dylan credit. That's what I like. Is she's not all, I did this all by myself.
No, which is cool. And I always felt like, at least when she came on, she just had blinders towards Silas about everything that had been done to her. And so I felt like it wasn't until Silas was kind of taken off the map that she was able to kind of just all right, I can put that aside and now focus on who I'm supposed to be in my life now. So it's been nice to be able to see that change with the character once they kind of took that kind of just initial kind of motivation when she came on the show. Now you can actually do some interesting stuff with her, and it's really cool to see this woman who thinks that she's kind of has the mindset of a woman in her 20s, but still leading a life in her 40s. Like, how do you reconcile those two things, and how do you make up for lost time, these experiences you don't get to have? Clearly wanting a child, but feel like maybe it might be a little too late in the game for that. So what do I do about that? But I still have those desires in my head. How do I make that happen?
Yeah, that's very human, and to me, it's just like, Nina seems to be the most grounded, and that's what we say. A lot of people mention, but she was bat crap crazy. Yes, she was, but, she and Franco both have shown actual signs of rehabilitation, which some characters maybe need to go to Shady Brook since it's gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't have a character be just that crazy, and they're not long-term viable for a show like this.
Right.
No.
Because if they're just so one note, then clearly they're either going to get killed off, because all they can do is they can just keep making them more and more crazy, and then they eventually get killed by somebody
Heather
else.
Weber. Yeah.
Yes, or they get just constantly kind of like Heather Weber at this point, just comedy relief.
Yeah.
Or,
every once in a while they'll just throw her in to throw a wrench in Franco's plan or something like that. But,
man, which I'm good with a nice nice time out on that. Please. I do not want to see Liz and Franco get together, and all of a sudden, then here comes Heather Weber. I'm breaking out to mess this up. Okay,
you just gave him an idea, Frank.
No, I didn't say anything, guys. I didn't say anything. What happened? Nope. I don't know what happened there. And then we got Dante and Lulu, as we're talking about romance. I feel like they got it all figured out now. Like,
right?
Yeah,
it happened overnight.
Yes, like Dante's talking to Nathan about, hey, you just got to be honest. Like, relax, Dante.
Yeah, look,
chill out.
He overcame a major hurdle in his life.
Yeah, and then you just want to let everybody know how great you are. Like, I got it all figured out now. Just listen to me.
Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I was making fun of Dante and Lulu both. Just like, it's like, oh yeah, well, we worked through our issues. Like, I read that Crimson magazine you gave us, so now we're experts, Nathan. Yeah. And then I did love Dante knowing Maxie, because he's like, Maxie Jones is gonna drop something. Hold the phone. Like, that part I did like with Dante, but I'll give him a little bit there.
No, certainly as we left it like last week, they had the big epiphany that we should do couples counseling. Do we even want to see a couple counseling session between the two of them?
No, because I don't want them to go back into this whole story on why everything happened the way it did, because we heard it a million times, and I'm just tired.
Yeah, I'd rather see, if they're going to be together, they need to go on this adventure and figure out Lulu's thing. I mean, we all kind of speculate what it is, but who knows? It could be something else. Just like, have them do an adventure like, you know, her parents. You know, a Luke and Laura adventure for Lulu and Dante, and we'll see. If that doesn't work out, then break them up forever.
Mel said, have Dante cheat again. That was funny.
Oh, Dante. Funny. Yeah, because it would be nice to either have the two of them, or if you wanted to try to do like a foursome like they do back in the day with Luke and Laura, and like, you know, Holly and Robert, or maybe do get Nathan and Maxie involved in it as well. Maybe that might give them something to do, especially if it's Cassadine related, and there's talk about maybe Nathan, his real father, is another Cassadine. That could be interesting.
Yeah, we really need to know who's Nathan's dad and who is Claudette. I mean, we know she was his wife, but is she coming on the show? Is that somebody who's already there? I mean, that's with Nathan. There's so much open for him to do his story. That's what I'm worried about. Is like, well, I mean, they could be pulled in, but
you know, you don't start mentioning somebody by name so much unless you know they're going to show up at some point.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So Claudette is coming at some point, and she's going to drop a bomb on it. Much like Nina, everybody was talking about Nina, and you never saw it, and then all of a sudden, boom, she was there. So I feel like Claudette, she's coming aboard. Yeah. Whoever Claudette really is, I don't know what this is. What could be so scandalous that Nathan doesn't want to reveal to Maxie that he was involved with this lady called Claudette, let alone married to Claudette.
That's why I was just like, you pig.
No.
Married.
Ooh.
That's something that should be discussed before getting into a serious relationship.
Even if it ended horribly. So you want your guy to disclose everything, like marriage, like not like they dated a bunch.
But I mean, guys usually know when they want to be with somebody for, you know, a good length of time. So once you came into that realization, that should have been the first thing talked about.
That I used to be married.
Yeah.
So you were the guy.
Especially if, I mean, right now he's obviously feeling some way about this woman.
Maxie or Claudette?
Claudette.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously there were probably some loose ends with them.
Yeah, it's interesting to see like why all of a sudden right now all these things about Claudette are coming by. I mean, it started with they're talking about like the tux, and then he started kind of like, you know, getting uncomfortable at the wedding. And then only kind of exasperated from there.
Right.
Yeah, because to me, this came such out of the blue. I mean, and it does kind of make sense, though, because it's at least giving Nathan some cracks. Because he was too perfect. And I knew there had to be something wrong with him. So, yeah, he is or was married at one point. That is a big, you know, issue. And it finally puts him and Maxie on the same level. Because they always made her the screw-up. And she's really not at this point.
And everybody wanted, you know, Nathan to have more to do. So I'm glad that they're giving him something away from just being with Maxie and that's it.
Yeah, but the other thing that drives me crazy, the same thing that had happened like with Lulu, where they were setting it before she found out that Dante had been cheating on her, where all they do is they just talk about how great their life is and how great their love is, and they just keep doing it again and again.
Yeah.
We get it. You're setting yourself up for a fall, please. So when she's talking to Dante and Lulu, I hope you guys will be as happy as Nathan and I are. Like, if you keep going down that road, I'm going to get really irritated.
Every time someone says they're happy, we know that something bad's about to happen.
Yeah. I'm so glad that we can be honest, unlike Dante and Lulu, who are struggling with that. Right, Nathan? And then, you know, Nathan's like long, far away looks. Yep. That's right, Maxie. Please. So I'd be curious to see how fast we're going to find out. I would love it if they could just hit the fast forward button and really surprise us.
Yeah.
I always enjoy General Hospital when they make something happen faster than we think it's going to be, because we get so used to like, oh, this is how you're going to draw it out. We've seen the cliche before.
Yeah.
So much like, at least like with Anna finding out who Griffin really was.
Yeah, that was quick. Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, great. Set it up and then tell us pretty quickly, and then let's just see what that storyline starts doing. Because I find like this storyline much more interesting to learn about Duke's past and Griffin learning about Duke than just like the creepy, mysterious, like who's stalking Anna?
Right.
Why am I stalking Anna? I'm not going to tell you. Like if we've gone on a couple more days, we're like, I want to tell you, and then he gets interrupted. Like, oh, I can't, but next time I'll tell you. In a really public place, I'll tell you. Like, oh, that would have been tiresome. So yeah, if they just, especially after we've gone through everything with Dante and Lulu. So if they kind of follow that same road, like no. If you want to do a kind of breakup, then do it differently. Don't go into the like dragging it out and then let's find out what the next big social event is in Port Charles so that Claudette can show up and then ruin everything.
I know, we haven't had the nurses' ball yet, so.
No. So, and then just quickly, just because we talked about him briefly at the beginning of the episode here, hey, remember when Scotty was the DA of Port Charles? And now he's just executor of Helena's will. Oh, Scotty, how the mighty have fallen. Oh, Scotty Baldwin. Come
Poor
on.
Scotty. That's why I'm like, we need more Scotty.
Yes. Which I think is a perfect segue into our segments this week here. We'll kick it off here with Get 'em to the ER stat. And as I mentioned, Scotty was the DA, Port Charles, folks. He had a lot going on, and he just doesn't have a lot going on right now these days. And Scotty Baldwin, come on. Who doesn't love Ken Schreiner? We've talked about the love of Ken Schreiner that we've had for many episodes. If you're a fan of the GH Report, we have sung up the praises of Ken Schreiner many times on the show. And I just feel like this is a chance just to reiterate again. If you're going to bring on a legacy character like that, somebody that just has such rich history in Port Charles, don't make him just like a little one-note character for like executor of Helena's will. Give him something to do. So as we talked about, and Lacretia mentioned that hopefully that this could be a kickoff with Scotty and Laura doing the storyline, please let that be the case, because that would be, more Ken Schreiner is always welcome here in Port Charles. To give him something active to do, going on some kind of investigation, kind of pursuit, tracking down some kind of history from of Laura's there to figure out what this key is would be really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Scotty Baldwin is a legacy character. I mean, he was there before Luke Spencer, before Sonny Corinthos, and we've got Ken. He's willing to work. Give him something.
Yes.
It's almost like every time I see Scotty on the screen, I'm like, oh, there's Scotty. It's not like I think of him as like, you know, because he just doesn't do anything like super important right now.
No, you know, and I feel like we've been tempted a little bit and teased a little bit there with a revelation that Franco is indeed his son, and we just get little tidbits of them actually having some kind of conversations, and like, that is such.
That'll be something, a great story for them to interact.
Yeah, two great actors to see them kind of interacting with, give them more to do. That would be great, as opposed to just like every so often, like, hey, yeah, remember you're my dad? Hey, yeah, hey, how you doing, son? And then that's it, and then we never see it for months and months on end. So please, guys, give Scotty Baldwin something to do. Give him, please. Come on. All right, we'll go on to the next segment, Love in the Afternoon.
Okay, so this week I had about 3, but I'm going to stick to my favorite is Nina getting a third leg. She's standing.
I was like, that's a fun way to be.
Hold on a second. Interesting. I didn't realize that she went undergone surgery there.
She is she's standing up. She's becoming that woman. I love those crimson ideas that she puts out. It's like she doesn't give up easily. You know what I mean? Something happens. All right, what can we do? You know, you don't see Nina over here panicking. You know what I mean? She's taking on Crimson as somebody that came in not knowing anything. I think she's doing a pretty awesome job. And I felt that the idea that she came up with for the Crimson magazine, I love that it incorporated, what's their name?
Maxine Dillon? No.
Curtis
and Valerie.
Curtis and Valerie. I blinked for a
Yes.
second, y'all. I love, because Curtis, we all know that he seems a little older. So for him to want to go on an adventure, I love that story with Crimson kind of brought these two characters together. So kudos to Nina.
Look at her go. Yeah.
And that's a good way to segue into mine, I'm guessing, right?
Really?
Yeah, because I was
alright.
like, that was just perfect. I was like, well.
Yeah, the winner and loser of the week by Lacretia.
I was like, yeah, nothing else needs to be said there. But yeah, and of course, you know, as you said, Nina was winning this week. So yeah, that's why she's my winner. Yeah, for all the reasons you said. Like, she has really just taken charge here. And, you know, what I like about her is she never hesitates to give Maxie and Dylan the credit that they deserve. She's like, you know, I couldn't have done this without you, Maxie. You're the one who helped me. And so that's a true leader and a true winner to me, is someone who gives credit where credit is due, and she's really owning it. She's talking to Julie, you know, really is like, what can I do? You know, it's not about like telling people, you know, delegating and all that. No. She's doing it all on her own.
Right, because when she first started, you know, she was leaning on Maxie a lot, but it didn't take her very long to want to get things rolling on her own as, you know, the top person.
No, and I feel like this only serves to put Nina in such a better light as a character, just to be able to give her some moments of success in this, not crumbling under the pressure, having ideas of her own that are successful.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's why she'll be fine on her own for a while, like single and everything, because I think she probably will break things off with Franco because of this situation with Liz and Jake and her wanting a baby. But I see it as sort of a win for Nina as well. She doesn't need him right now. I mean, it's great. She loves him and everything, but she feels like he only wanted to save her. And now that she's, you know, up doing stuff, he's not there.
Well, true, and she's never really had time to be just on her own. She's always been either with Silas in the coma, then out of the coma, then with Franco. Or they're obsessed with Silas and then with Franco. So it's always been some kind of man in her life, whether she wants to get payback or is in love, and she's never had a chance to just stand on her own 3 legs now.
Yes.
Yes.
She's becoming one of my favorites.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Look at that.
Yeah, I totally agree, and that's why I like Nina, because, a lot of people complain about female characters on soaps usually aren't able to stand on their own, but to me, this is showing Nina, maybe with Franco, but we're seeing this story on her own, just like with Anna in a lot of, situations. She's getting the Anna Devane treatment where she can hold her own. She doesn't need a relationship to be
got
going
a third
with.
leg.
Yeah.
Lady, can I get
weird
it?
to say?
I was not expecting that out of your mouth.
I know.
She got a third leg. I'm like, what? All right.
But yeah, and I want to give an honorable mention to Ava for this week, just because, again, with letting Morgan be the one to talk to Kiki, and there were several other instances like keeping Avery with Sunny, even after she got into it with Carly. Ava's making the right choices for her kids, and that's something that will segue into the losers of the week, that Carly and Sunny are not. And it's funny, they had made such progress when they put Morgan into the institution and all that, and then this week it is like complete 180. That's why they are losers.
Well, that's great, because that's one thing I was like, I got to double back and talk about that, because there were a couple key things in that. For one, like that Carly scene with Ava, it was so weird because Carly had talked to Sunny, like when Sunny was like, all right, Avery's staying with us. And Carly, that last week was like talking sense, like, no, this is only temporary, right? To all of a sudden have that scene with Ava for like, why didn't she just leave him here? She's so much happier here. Like, what? Carly, what?
Yeah, that was the thing, is both of them even with Sunny and Christina, because usually he's really good with Christina and Dante. I'll give him that. It's usually Michael and Morgan where he annoys me, and then especially with Avery. But this week, Sunny and Carly both, it's just like, okay, wait, last week you said something completely different. Do y'all just not listen to the words that are coming out of your mouths? I mean, and who flipped your bitch switch, Carly? I mean, over Ava, I was like, honestly, Ava was in the right the whole time.
Yeah, she can
I
only.
hate to admit it, but
Look at that. But I will give it up for Sunny being a little sneaky, though. In the sense where he was the one that planted that black rose.
I wonder who did it. I didn't expect Sunny. I was like,
I thought it was the wingman that got away. That he was the one that sent that black rose or somebody.
Yeah, even I was thinking it was gonna be maybe a Dixon or some new character. Maybe he got away, or the one that had tried to drown Lulu, like you said. But yeah, Sunny doing that honestly made it interesting. And I sort of respected him for doing it, just because it's like, okay, that's dark. This might be a good Sunny storyline.
And it was smart, because usually Sunny flies off the handle and he says something ragey and somebody's recording it, as always.
Yeah, that's why I can't believe he's always been on top, because he's just so volatile.
He better start playing it smart.
No, that's true. Yeah. But I also, as Lacretia was saying, I'll give Ava some props, because she at least fessed up to Julian, at least. Yeah. And said, like, told him the full story about what really happened, as opposed to just always kind of being a little deceptive and always telling maybe parts to the story to people. At least it was nice for her to have a scene with Julian, and just coming forward with everything.
Right. Yeah, I really like that. And I think that Ava, Kiki being in this situation has made Ava think about her choices. And it's, they're actually showing this. And, so far not having her revert back. I mean, because even, she even apologized for kind of getting into it with Carly. I was like, okay, so Ava's, really making some sense here, and then now Sunny and Carly are being the bad guys. But what I want to see is them actually be called out for it, because Sunny doing the Black Rose thing was cool, but don't act like he's doing some altruistic thing. Own that he's bad, and then we might start to like him. But I think Julian may have to dip his toe back into the mob to help Ava.
Yeah, that's a lady.
Well, he did, kind of hint. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry, I'd take care of it.
Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do, Julian?
I mean, don't they say once a mobster, always a mobster? He may be out of it, but I'm sure he's got connections. He knows what's going on. Because they make it seem like it was so long ago that Julian got out of the mob. Like, it was 6 months ago. I mean, I'm sure he's pretty updated on all the players still. I don't think there's not a huge turnover in mob enforcers or leaders of the mob in 6 months. I think I think Julian still knows what's going on. Yeah, so that was our segments for the week. But anybody just like to pretend they're James Lott Jr. for a second and just give a quote of the week?
Yeah, because there were a lot of good quotes this week.
There you go. Let's, if you want to check our Facebook page, the GH Report Facebook page, we will have James Lott Jr. coming on later there to put his quote of the week. So there you go. Give a lot of likes. Yes. He needs it, because he's still devastated by that reading of Helena's will. It really got to him. It really got to him, folks. So then I guess we got a little news and gossip there, right?
Woo! TV news.
Well, we do have, if you're fans of Liz on GH, we do know that there were some contract negotiations that kind of came on there. So it got down to the wire in terms of if she was going to stay with the show or not. And because of that, there's been a little announcement there that Liz is going to be kind of off the canvas for a little bit, just because they were writing up to about 5 days before her contract ended, and then they didn't know if she was going to stay with the show. So they kind of dialed back her involvement to figure out what the resolution of that was. And because of that, she's going to be just kind of off the air for just a little bit. She's going to be back in. Clearly has a major storyline now with Helena's notebook in there about what happened with Jake on Cassadine Island. But just in terms of airtime right now, at least for the few weeks while they catch up to where they are on the show, she's going to be a little off campus. But don't be alarmed, folks. Liz is going to be back doing lots of some kind of potential storyline with Franco and Jake, maybe figuring out what the deal is with that. Maybe Michael Easton's character potentially maybe be linked in with that. Who knows?
Right.
Yeah, because there's a lot of speculation that Michael Easton's character is related to the Cassadines somehow. So yeah, that could tie him in with this, Liz, Jake, Franco storyline.
Yeah, speaking of Michael Easton, he should be coming back next week there at Port Charles. We're going to get his first yes. Interesting, such a great actor, but to come back to the same soap with as your fourth character, pretty interesting. Wow. Yes. So, we'll see what happens with that. And then I think that, I guess other news here, well, of course, we've got all our great GH spotlights going on that James Lott Jr. does, as well as Dirty Deeds done by our very own Lacretia Lyon. Okay. Look at that. Can you give a little sneak peek about what the next Dirty Deeds might be about?
Well, of course, we are still doing part 2 of Sonny Corinthos, since Sonny is a bad boy. But don't worry, I'm an equal opportunist, and Alexis Davis's Dirty Deeds will be aired out as well.
Ooh,
I'm going to need you to stop calling Sonny a bad boy.
Well, how would you characterize Sonny?
He just, gets by.
He just gets by?
Yeah, Franco just gets by.
Well, that is our news and gossip right now, but let's roll right into some predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right. Lacretia, do you have any predictions?
Actually, I do. I kind of predict that Michael Easton might be involved with this Liz, Jake, Franco storyline and could be related to the Cassadines or is a Cassadine. I'm kind of hoping they go there with him and, maybe he's Nathan's dad. They do look alike.
Interesting. Yeah. That might be interesting there. Or any talk on the feed about potential predictions or thoughts?
Well, Cheryl Hawk gave us the quote of the week. All right, thanks, Cheryl. She said, Alexa said, "You gave me a leash and collar for my wedding present, Diane. And how much do you want to thank me for that?" I totally agree with that. That was that other Diane line that I just loved.
Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Ladine, a prediction for this week? She thought. Is Sonny gonna maybe? I feel like Sonny needs to sit down when people ask him things or tell him things.
Why?
So that he's always more wise, and he seems like he's willing to see things from other people's point of view when he's sitting down, like in a wheelchair.
I think being in a wheelchair kind of like settled him a little bit, so he doesn't, go full force right away. He kind of thinks about it before attacking.
Well, true. With Ava, yes, he's trying being a little bit about that. But certainly with Christina, no. Max, do whatever you can to find out.
That's his child.
That's all right. There you go.
A little different.
Yeah, all right.
A little different.
There you go. Get a little. It's tough to get put the blinders on when it comes to a kid.
I don't know. I don't know. Part of me was just thinking about, how Dante and Valerie had that little conversation. I don't know if what they're gonna do, if they're gonna completely not talk anymore, or
I don't know. I mean, I feel like
friendship, or I don't know.
I think it's gonna be like one of those kind of friend things where hey, we're friends, but we don't talk at all when we see. We maybe every 4 months when we cross paths in the police department, we'll say hey. But other than that, I mean, I guess because as Dante says, because you're also Lulu's cousin, so there's a lot of big family barbecues that the Spencers are having. Sure.
Yeah, how many Spencers are left on the show? I mean, yeah, sure.
Wait, did Hayden call off the investigation on Nicholas?
Nicholas called it off on Hayden.
Yeah.
Right. The investigation on Hayden.
I was wondering about.
Yeah.
Did Hayden put it on pause because of Tracy, or?
Well, I guess Hayden is
kind of faded a little bit.
Hayden just is not wanting to do anything with it right now. I feel like, and Curtis is like, hold on, this guy shot you in the head. So why aren't you pulling the trigger on any of this.
Yeah,
You're going to get married to him instead?
And Liz still has Sam on it. Like, there was that scene where Liz told Sam to keep the investigation going for Spencer, and so Sam's still kind of looking into it.
That comes awkward to the billing stage at that, though.
No.
So, like, if Sam, when Sam really finds out what the dirt is, does she then also slip the Nicholas a bill? Like, no, by the way, you don't mind. I know you told me not to, but I did all this stuff.
He always just takes stuff out of his house. I mean, isn't he cash poor? That's why he wanted ELQ. So, just like, take some faces, just sell it off.
That's true. Sam can pretty much get anything out of that safe because everybody seems to be able to crack that safe.
Yeah.
Very easy to do. I mean, I guess for me, it's just I'm curious to see now that we've got the revelation, which I'm great that they didn't draw it out that Griffin is Duke's son. What's the next step in terms of what Anna and Griffin are going to do? Because I mean, you can't just have scenes like, hey, your father was like this and this and this. That's not much of a storyline where Anna's just recounting the greatness of Duke Lavery to his son. So I mean, I figure like, what else is going to happen between the two of them?
That's the thing. To be honest, I don't see a lot going on with them. It's like, what can they do? Then probably go have lunch somewhere. And just have like a son-mother connection almost.
Like she did with Patrick. I think that he may be sort of a surrogate for Patrick. Like when Robin was gone, like Anna had that relationship, and everybody seemed to, find it very positive. So I think that's probably several reasons why they brought Dr. Griffin in.
No, because I do like that.
Yeah.
I do like Anna in those types of scenes where you get to see more of her than just being somebody that a lot.
She works well with everyone.
Yeah.
She's fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. She brings out the best in everybody that she's in. Every scene that she's in is just always so good. But I also want to feel like we got to have some sort of movement on if it's going to be a Paul relationship with Anna or it's going to be an Andre relationship with Anna. Like I feel like we're kind of like just teasing right now.
God, I hope it's not with Paul.
I don't know.
He's a dirtbag.
Yeah, I don't think Anna's interested in him at all. Like, I don't see that. Like, I think Paul is clearly interested in Anna, like, because he loves him a strong woman like Ava and stuff. But Anna has not shown any interest. Now, she was kind of, like, going with it for a while just to try and, like, get information from him. But, yeah, she's totally into Andre. Just doesn't really know it yet.
Right.
All right. Well, it looks like that is going to be wrapping us up for this week for the GH Report. Any last thoughts from the chat room?
Basically, they're saying that Kendra John again says that Lizzie is going to find out about Hayden. All right. So, I can see Liz and Sam working together, some PI work.
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be fireworks?
Well, we did like the airplane flights with them where they're throwing drinks on each other. That was always fun to see. So, solving crimes and throwing drinks on each other. Why not? So, folks, that's going to do it for us this week on the GH Report. But we can keep the conversation going even when we're not doing the show right now. You can follow us on Twitter. Check it all out. We can continue to do the conversation there. Lacretia, where can they find you if they want to talk to you after the show?
Of course, if you can spell my name right, it's Lacretialyon, and that's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever.
Hi, guys. You can find me on Twitter at Ladine_Harvey.
Oh, look at that. And you can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie and check me out Tuesday nights at 9:30 with my improv team, Max, here in Los Angeles at the iOS Theater. Folks, again, as always, thank you so much for watching the show. We love having the fans involved with us. We want to keep that conversation going even off the air as well. Like us on Facebook, rate us on iTunes, give us those big 5 stars there. Make sure you just keep chatting us up on Twitter. We'd love to talk to you about the day's episodes that come on as they go. And we'll see you next week right here on the GH Report.
With James.
Maybe. Who knows? Who knows? If James Lott Jr. will show up. We'll see. Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.